Hi.
We are ready to go.
Ready.
With Trent Dawson. This is Suzanne Curry with Behind the Scenes. That's Behind the Scenes with 2 Z's. And today we are speaking to Trent Dawson, who you may recognize from the soap world, bona fide actor, now writer, director, producer.
Like all of it.
All of it, editor, everything.
Yeah.
And we're talking to him about his new short film called The F. So, Trent, tell me now, all right, people may know you from As the World Turns and recently on General Hospital.
Yep.
You've done some other kind of cop show things.
I've done those procedurals. I've done I've almost done the entire canon of NCIS. I've done 2 of the 3, and like Castle and Good Wife and Homeland and things. A lot of good ones. I got on a lot of. I lucked out. I got on a lot of good ones. Yeah.
And don't forget, you were in the pilot for Wait.
By
former,
yes.
Former co-star Martha Burns.
That's right.
As the World Turns.
I got to play just a jerk. I loved it.
You were a reality talk show host, and you did really. You were like the next Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
So
really snarky Ryan Seacrest.
Yes. So all right. So we see a trend here that going from in front of the camera to behind the camera. So tell me if this is something that you've been thinking about doing for a long time. Is this your first project? Like, what's the evolution of The F?
It's kind of the first project, and I think it was inspired by a lot of the stuff I was doing, and I saw some great writing, and I thought, I wonder if I can, even be a bench player on the team of these great writers. So that's how it started. It started as a play. I was really interested in the dynamic of who's winning and who's losing in an argument between a man and a woman.
The woman wins all the time.
I know that now. I'm married. I understand how it works. No, but no. But in this case, it was a case of possible infidelity. And did it really happen or didn't it happen? And how do you trip up the female lead who's making the accusation? Because I don't know if you've ever been in that position, but sometimes you're absolutely certain that this person has either cheated or done something bad to you. But then other times you think, am I going crazy? Am I just crazy? This person, I love this person. Can it really be true? And I wanted to explore that dynamic and that sort of
that's
psychology.
what Facebook snooping and all that good social media
Yeah, I guess so.
Is for.
Stalk. You could stalk them and find out.
So this is the verbal, and I did see a reading of it, and this is the verbal play of words going back and forth, and you're sitting there at the edge of your seat. Did he or did he not?
Yeah, and how does she lose her? She's very much in control, and I like to say that Chandler, who you just interviewed, is like a young Colleen Dewhurst. She's got that kind of ferocity about her, and you totally believe she's in control. And the one problem she has, she's not great with language. She's very smart, has nothing to do with smarts, and he knows that. And so whenever she loses that ability to argue with the language, with the words, it trips her up, and her self-confidence gets tripped up, and then suddenly she starts to doubt whether she's really accurate or not about whether he's been faithful. So that's what I was exploring. I wanted to try to figure that out, and it was very fun.
So it's a very deep play. It makes you think
And laugh. I hope
yes,
laugh.
Yes,
I hope laugh.
I did laugh too.
Good.
So like, where did you see this? Like, why that one? Why did you pick this as your first project?
Part of it was who I was reading and watching. I was very interested in rhythm and the rhythm of words and how they work together. You see this a lot in theater, but you'll see it a lot in. I'm not trying to compare myself to these people, but the Tarantinos of the world, the people who can write stuff where there's overlapping dialogue, where people think very quickly on their feet. Very often in film, people take a very long time to make a decision, and we get to see that decision. And I wanted people to sort of act on the decision as they're talking, like we're talking about something. Wait, what did you just say? Well, no, I'm mad about that. It's people are, I think, a lot sharper and more savvy than sometimes they're portrayed in film, and I wanted to bring that to life.
Well, it's also, the film takes 90 minutes, and this is all done shorter, so you've got to, you've got to get it out.
Yeah, it's true. We got it. Yeah, it's 13 minutes. Well, the play was. I don't know how long the film's going to be, but probably right around there because it's as fast as the play was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it takes place in a New York City subway. Do you want to tell us about what it was like? Like, how did you even get to be able to shoot in the subway?
Well, I didn't exactly get all the paperwork I was supposed to get. Hush. No, it's okay. I don't think I'm gonna. What are they gonna do to me now?
It's New York.
It's New York. It was a guerrilla shoot. I will say that we shot right underneath a precinct and that the police officers, the NYPD, were just outstanding. They were like, look, just don't get anybody's way and be safe. And for the most part, a couple of them were like, hey, don't do this again without the right paperwork. But in general, they were really, and those are very stressful moments for me because they could have shut it down. But in general, they were great.
We love New York.
We love New York, and it was the perfect subway. I had to shoot there. It's got that grungy kind of like 70s, early 80s subway vibe to it, which I really wanted.
Aren't most subways in New York like that?
No, now it's Disney World here now.
Okay.
It's
the new one.
the new one.
Been to that one.
Well, you know how it's a lot cleaner than it was 30 years ago. Let's put it that way. So it was a trip, and it was so hot and so humid. And my actors were such troopers. I don't know how they did it because we shot from probably around 8 o'clock at night till about 6 in the morning. And 4 in the morning in the South Bronx on a subway station, subway platform is, it takes some endurance and some commitment and some discipline. And they were great. So we got it.
So tell me, who were the actors in this?
Alejandro, I would say Alex Hernandez, who is on the new Alan Cumming show. He's a regular on that. Instinct, thank you very much. Chandler Rosenthal, who I discovered in an acting class that I was sort of auditing with potential of being a teacher there. And Lily Davis, also same class. And I just thought they're perfect for this. I saw Chandler, and again, I had that sort of, I don't know if people know who I'm referring to as Colleen Dewhurst, but that kind of fierce strength, that kind of, you don't mess with this woman, and in the embodiment of like a 20-something, and I thought, you don't see that a lot. There's nothing waifish and mild-mannered about this person. She's fierce, and I totally wanted her to be involved in this.
Yeah, I saw the reading of it, and she really was, she wasn't a weak individual.
No. In fact, I had to really work with her in those moments where the character becomes weak. It was very hard to sort of talk her down, because she's like, no, I would keep fighting here. And I go, I know you would, but the character needs to just lose just a little bit, because Chandler doesn't like to lose. So that was a lot of fun.
So we're going into post on this. Time yet to be determined when this will be out?
I'm hoping. It's a very difficult film to edit, even though it's short. But I'm hoping within the next 3 months or so, we're going to have something that people can start looking at. And before that, I'm hoping to have some teasers and people can take a look and get a sense of what it looks like, who these people are, something really fun and enjoyable to watch on the way to getting a final product, and then hopefully festivals.
Great. It will be in festivals.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here with the soap actor, and you know, I grew up with soaps, and there are still people soap fans are alive and well.
Yes, they are.
So I just have to ask you a few soap questions.
Sure.
I mean, I ask this a lot, but you know, what's your best memory, either on the set, funniest thing, or like something a fan said to you sometime?
The funniest things fans have said have been, fans have said some very odd things to my wife that I won't repeat on camera. I think the funnest time I had was actually very early on, when it was Henry and Katie, and we got stranded on a deserted island. And this was early, first couple of years I was on As the World Turns. But they built an island inside the studio, and it was a giant sandbox. And I just showed up to work, put on shorts and a t-shirt, and played in a sandbox for an entire summer. I cannot tell you how much fun that was.
Oh.
We just rolled around, we threw stuff at each other, we had this, it was an absolute blast. And who gets to do that as an adult? You get to play, I have a toddler now, I'm like, this is what he gets to do all day.
True.
So that was fun.
And you know, they've done sets like that, where it's, the thing is though, Trent, you had fun playing in the sandbox, everyone watching at home was just like, they're playing in sand in a studio. It's not a real island, but
well,
we used our imagination.
Well, they were hey, as long as you're watching, I don't. You can take away whatever you want, as long as you're having a good time.
So tell me about GH. GH is still going.
Still going.
After all these years, you were recently on GH.
Yeah, I recently was, and I think the it's possible I'll be coming back. I don't know all the details on that. They left that door open.
Right.
But that was just a complete surprise. It came out of left field, and they said, we want you to come out and play this Brit who's a little snarky. And I said, well, okay, you got the right guy. And everyone out there, I get to see Maura and Roger Holworth and a lot of folks that I've worked with in the past. But it's a good group out there. It's a very good group, and you know, people talk about different sets and things like this because people bounce from soaps to soaps. Not as many of them now as it used to be. People always loved working at World Turns. They talked about it. They said this is different than whatever soap they were on. I would say General Hospital is one of those good places to work.
Mm-hmm.
You just, you know, the EP is great, and it just people come in, they do their job, they're ready to work, and they're friendly. So can't ask for anything more than that.
And the fans love it when faces that they know in the past come back.
I hope so. I hope so.
It really makes people tune in.
It was interesting because it's a different network, and I know people, fans tend to say, well, I'm a CBS person, or I used to be an NBC person, and GH is ABC. And so I didn't know if there'd be a lot of cross-pollinization, but there was. A lot of people that were watching that, so let's watch Trent on this. And I'm really glad they did, because it's a good story on there.
Yeah. I think people cross-pollinate now because there are only 4 left. Broadcast-wise, there's plenty online now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we follow the characters also.
Yeah, and this wasn't too dissimilar. There was a lot of Henry-isms. Jean Passanante, who was the head writer for Huxley, and the head writer for the show, but wrote Huxley. She wrote the last few scenes with Huxley because she wanted to put that in there. And I think there was a lot of Henry-isms in there, which I'm very happy. He's Jack Lemmon, basically. I'm very happy to play that part. So.
Great.
Yeah.
So I hope you come back on that.
I hope so too. I had a blast.
So we'll just wrap up here, just talking about, you shot in New York. This is, it takes place in New York City subway.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a New Yorker by trade? Do you love New York?
I do. I moved here a long time ago, and back in the early 90s. I love it here. We went away when I got married. We moved to LA for about 3 or 4 years, had my first child out there. Wonderful things to say about LA. Totally miss New York. We couldn't wait to come back home, and once we had my little boy and now my little girl, we have family out here. This was the place we wanted to raise them. So yeah, there's nothing like this city. There's nothing in the world like it. It's incredible.
We're in Central Park right now.
Yeah.
If you come here, bring your kids.
Yeah. We're right next to the Delacorte Theater. You can see Shakespeare in the park.
Yeah.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah. So tell me now, as an actor and now as a director, what movies you love to watch, and did any of these inspire you?
Yeah, for this film, I think what's interesting, I started watching things in terms of how to create senses of tension. And one show that I really kind of got into that does this quite a bit, it doesn't look anything like our film, was The Handmaid's Tale. If you've been watching that series, they do some different, the production design's incredible, but they do shots where on Elizabeth Moss that really, I went to my DP and my cinematographer and I said, you see how they're building a tremendous amount of tension with her there, and she does it herself, she's an incredible actor. How can we incorporate that into the film? How can we move in and create that and then move back out to it? And there's a lot of that element in there that I just happened to be watching that and thought that would be great. Because the script is so wordy, of course I thought about getting these long shots or medium shots. Tarantino does that in like Reservoir Dogs and things like this, where you just set up and just let them act. And because I had such good actors and they had done the play version, they were ready to go. We got limited on that because we couldn't control when the trains came and we couldn't control when the announcers announced, so we couldn't shoot for too long.
Realistic.
It's very realistic. There's a few people in the background that weren't on our staff. They just happened to be wandering by.
And they were thinking, did he or did he not cheat?
Absolutely, they were trying to figure it out. In fact, we had some people upstairs of the subway, just right outside where we were shooting, who thought there was a real argument going on, and one of them came down and said, "Are you okay down there?" So we were like, "No, we're just pretending."
You hear all those bad things about New Yorkers.
No, they were very sweet.
They were very
sweet. Making sure that everyone was all right. So that's told me we had something good going. I'm trying to think of many more answers to your questions, but I think for this film, I think looking at those kinds of shots, those kind of how do you create levels of tension? How do you create who's up and who's down? So wherever I could find that.
Okay, and now you and your wife. All right, you and your wife, no kids around. You have 2 young kids.
Right.
No kids around, and you have a Saturday night. You're gonna watch Netflix. You're gonna watch a movie. What are you gonna watch?
My wife's former prosecutor, so what we do is we watch all those documentaries on Netflix about whodunits. Like we just watched the staircase one about the guy, did he murder his wife or did she fall down the staircase? Right now, we're watching about some kind of bank heist. from a few years ago, and then she sits there and sort of adjudicates the prosecution and says, I wouldn't have done it that way. No, that's not the right way to do it. And I kind of enjoy it because I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Well, not only that, so you've got one person sitting there saying, they're not doing things right, I would have done it differently, and then you have you looking at all the angles. Doesn't sound really relaxing.
I guess it's I guess it's not. You're right. What do we watch that's relaxing? You know, we watch it used to be on E, that show, The Soup. You know,
Talk Soup.
Talk Soup.
Talk Soup.
That's our relaxation, because I love him. I got to see him live when I was in LA. It's like a tiny little studio with like 15 people. And he's great on Netflix.
Yes.
That's my show to watch.
That's the kind of thing you have to watch. You always have to just watch something just to zone out.
Just to zone out, absolutely, and laugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, one last question, and that's New York City person.
Yeah.
You know, if someone had a day to spend in New York City, what would you tell them with their kids?
With the kids.
What would they do?
Well, we're right next to the American Museum of Natural History. Definitely do that, especially in the summer when it gets hot. They have great AC, but the dinosaurs in there.
Good food in the basement.
And good
too.
food in the. They do it. You're right.
They do.
And I love this area. This is the Upper West Side. I love this area anyway. I take them through Central Park. There's a great children's museum very close to here too. That's massive and got. I can't even describe the crazy stuff that you can do with your kids there. Yeah, I think there's so much. The Upper West Side is almost like the suburb of Manhattan. There's a lot of things that cater to families and to kids. So I would stay up in this area. But yeah, Museum of Natural History, Central Park, Children's Museum, and I guess do Times Square. But if you're going to go down there, walk quickly.
Yeah. They're not the real people.
They're not the real
just
people.
Dressed up.
And also, they don't like it when you stop. So
Yeah.
don't stop. Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
Keep moving.
Don't be one of these that's like FaceTiming someone while you're walking. That's gonna get you killed.
Stop at the M&M store. Go directly to the M&M store if you're in Times Square with your kids.
That's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I have not done that.
Yeah.
That's a good
So keep moving. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yep, exactly. Yes, good segue.
The trajectory. So we'll be back when the F is out. We'll let you know when the F is out and where you can see it. And best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
I
for the
appreciate it.
interview.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me. All right. Bye.
Bye.